The next aspect that we are going to talk about in writing is that editing and revisions. And this is something that we know our students do not like because we know that they write it perfectly the first time. And so that's what they'll tell us anyway. How I would get my students to do some editing and some revising is I had to do this whole class. Students would have their rough draft in front of them, and I would tell them, okay, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to circle the first word of each sentence. Does it have a capital letter? If it doesn't have a capital letter, then you need to make sure that you fix that. A lot of times what my students would do is they would get to about the third word and they would go, oh. And I'd say, what? And they'd say, all of my sentences are starting exactly the same. Okay, so what do you need to do about that? Then they would go back and fix and change their sentences. They would do some revisions on their work so that not each sentence was starting the same way. Draw a red square around every end punctuation mark. Oh, you only have one red square on your paper at the very bottom? I think you probably need to go back in and add some punctuation marks. I would tell them to X out or highlight the words very, a lot, great, really, and thing. These words are very vague and they can be changed to other words. Maybe I'm going to put the word it in a triangle and try to change as many as I can, because does the reader really know what it is? And for these statements, you can look at these statements, and whatever you are working on in your classroom is what you're going to have your students do. So whatever is appropriate for your grade level and your students, that's what I'm going to ask them to do. I would never take this list, put it up on the board and say, okay, do your editing and revising. That's too much for them. Go through it systematically with them and have them go through step by step so that they know specifically and explicitly what they need to be looking for.